In a duplex situation, branch circuits dedicated to each dwelling unit can indeed originate from a common electrical panel. The National Electrical Code, specifically the 2002 edition in this case, allows for this arrangement as long as each dwelling's branch circuits exclusively serve that specific dwelling. The code addresses equipment shared by both dwellings, such as a well pump, septic pump, common furnace, and lighting for shared spaces. These shared loads can be connected to circuits within the common panel. The main disconnect that feeds both the house panel and the tenant panel can be regarded as the main disconnecting means for both dwelling units. According to the 2002 NEC, using a common panel to supply branch circuits for multiple dwellings is not prohibited, given that the branch circuits are dedicated to each individual dwelling. It's important to ensure that the disconnect supplying both panels is adequate to serve as the disconnecting means for both. When assessing the load calculations for each dwelling unit and the common loads, it is vital to adhere to the NEC requirements for sizing the service and feeder conductors. Ensure proper overcurrent protection is in place for each circuit to safeguard against overloads and short circuits. Grounding and bonding must be implemented correctly to minimize the risk of electrical shock and ensure a safe electrical system. The common panel must be adequately sized to accommodate all of the branch circuits for both dwellings and the common loads. A load calculation should be performed in accordance with the NEC to determine the required size of the panel. Each branch circuit must be properly identified to indicate which dwelling unit it serves. This can be accomplished by labeling the circuit breakers or fuses in the panel. All electrical work must be performed by qualified electricians in accordance with all applicable codes and regulations. Before commencing any electrical work, it is advisable to consult with the local electrical inspector to ensure compliance with all requirements. The National Electrical Code provides detailed guidelines on how to properly install and maintain electrical systems in dwellings. It is important to familiarize yourself with the NEC requirements to ensure a safe and reliable electrical system. In summary, sharing a common panel between duplex dwellings is permissible, provided that branch circuits are dedicated, common equipment is identified, and the main disconnect can function as the disconnecting means for both. Always consult the latest edition of the NEC and local codes for specific requirements and to ensure compliance with all applicable regulations. Always have an electrician inspect the wiring and ensure it complies with the electrical code and is safe. When sizing the panel, make sure you have accounted for future use. It is more cost-effective in the long run to upsize the panel initially than to replace the panel later on, for example if you are planning to add an electric vehicle charger. Electric vehicle chargers can add a significant load to the panel. Also, many people are considering installing heat pumps, especially as local and state governments are offering incentives to do so. Heat pumps also add a significant load to the electrical panel. In addition to proper labeling, it is important to maintain accurate circuit directories for both the house panel and the tenant panel. These directories should clearly indicate the purpose of each circuit breaker and the area of the dwelling that it serves. This will help to prevent confusion and make it easier to troubleshoot electrical problems. Regularly inspect the electrical panel for any signs of damage or overheating. Look for loose wires, corroded connections, and discoloration of the circuit breakers. If you notice any problems, contact a qualified electrician to make repairs. Consider installing arc fault circuit interrupters, or arc faults, on branch circuits that serve bedrooms and other living areas. Arc faults can detect dangerous electrical arcs that could cause a fire. They are a valuable safety device that can help to protect your home and family. Also, consider installing ground fault circuit interrupters, also known as ground faults, in areas where there is a risk of electrical shock, such as bathrooms, kitchens, and outdoor outlets. Ground faults can detect small electrical leaks and shut off the power before a shock can occur. They are a valuable safety device that can help to prevent electrical injuries. When replacing circuit breakers, always use the correct type and size for the circuit. Using the wrong circuit breaker can overload the circuit and cause a fire. Be sure to turn off the power to the circuit before replacing a circuit breaker. Also, do not work on electrical equipment when you are wet or standing in water. Water is a good conductor of electricity and can increase the risk of electrical shock. If you are unsure about how to perform any electrical work, contact a qualified electrician. Electricity can be dangerous, and it is important to take all necessary precautions to prevent accidents. Always use caution when working with electricity. Treat every wire as if it is live. Take steps to avoid electrical hazards in your home. Consider having a professional electrician inspect your home's electrical system every few years to ensure that it is in good condition and meets all applicable codes. If you are planning to add any new electrical circuits to your home, be sure to obtain a permit from the local building department. This will help to ensure that the work is done safely and in accordance with all applicable codes. If you live in an older home, the electrical system may not be up to current standards. It may be necessary to upgrade the electrical system to meet the demands of modern appliances and electronics. Also, be aware that aluminum wiring can be a fire hazard. If you have aluminum wiring in your home, it is important to have it inspected by a qualified electrician. Do not overload electrical outlets or extension cords. Overloading can cause the wires to overheat and start a fire. Also, use extension cords sparingly. If you need to use an extension cord, be sure to use a heavy-duty cord that is rated for the amount of power that you will be using. Check electrical cords regularly for damage. Replace any cords that are frayed or cracked. If you see any sparks or smoke coming from an electrical outlet or appliance, turn off the power to the circuit immediately and contact a qualified electrician. Do not attempt to repair the problem yourself. Ensure smoke detectors are properly installed and maintained. Test them regularly and replace the batteries as needed. Smoke detectors provide an early warning in case of a fire. Develop a fire escape plan for your home and practice it with your family. Make sure everyone knows how to get out of the house safely in case of a fire. If you have any questions about electrical safety, contact a qualified electrician or your local building department. Stay informed about electrical safety and take steps to protect your home and family from electrical hazards. Consider surge protection for sensitive electronic devices. Power surges can damage or destroy computers, televisions, and other electronic equipment. Surge protectors can help to protect these devices from power surges. Consider also the use of energy-efficient lighting. Energy-efficient light bulbs, such as light-emitting diode bulbs, use less energy and last longer than traditional incandescent bulbs. This can save you money on your energy bill. Be sure to recycle old light bulbs properly. Some light bulbs contain mercury, which is a hazardous substance. Take them to a recycling center or hazardous waste collection facility for proper disposal. If you are planning to remodel your home, be sure to include electrical upgrades in your plans. This is a good time to add new outlets, upgrade the electrical panel, and install energy-efficient lighting. Obtain all necessary permits before beginning any electrical work. If you have a swimming pool or hot tub, be sure to follow all electrical safety guidelines. This includes ensuring that all electrical equipment is properly grounded and that ground fault circuit interrupters are installed on all circuits that serve the pool or hot tub. If you are planning to install a generator, be sure to follow all electrical safety guidelines. This includes ensuring that the generator is properly grounded and that a transfer switch is installed to prevent backfeeding electricity into the utility grid. Backfeeding can be dangerous and can damage electrical equipment. The specific types of loads being served should also be considered. For instance, if one dwelling unit is anticipated to have significantly higher electrical demands than the other, this should be factored into the panel sizing and feeder calculations. Electric vehicle charging stations, welders, or other high-demand appliances can substantially increase the load on a dwelling unit. In situations where common areas or shared equipment are metered separately, sub-metering should be implemented correctly and in compliance with local utility regulations. This allows for accurate billing and prevents disputes between tenants. Proper documentation of the electrical system is crucial. Maintain accurate records of all electrical work performed, including panel schedules, wiring diagrams, and inspection reports. This information will be invaluable for future maintenance and troubleshooting. Regular inspections by a qualified electrician can identify potential problems before they escalate into major issues. These inspections should include checking for loose connections, damaged wiring, and overloaded circuits. Consider the impact of future expansions or modifications to the electrical system. Plan for potential future needs, such as adding additional circuits or upgrading the panel to accommodate increased electrical demands. Ensure that the electrical system is adequately protected from environmental factors such as moisture, corrosion, and physical damage. Use appropriate enclosures and materials for the specific environment. If the property is located in an area prone to lightning strikes, consider installing lightning protection systems to minimize the risk of damage to the electrical system and the structure itself. If the property is located in an area that experiences frequent power outages, consider installing a backup power system such as a generator or battery backup system. The electrical system must comply with all applicable accessibility requirements, such as those specified in the Americans with Disabilities Act. This includes ensuring that electrical outlets and switches are accessible to individuals with disabilities. If you are unsure about any aspect of electrical safety or compliance, consult with a qualified electrician or electrical engineer. It is always better to err on the side of caution when it comes to electricity. The electrical panel should be located in an accessible location that is free from obstructions. This will allow for easy access for maintenance and troubleshooting.